Hi, this is Ms. Gonzalez. Today I'm going to go over how to do the multiple representations of subtraction of three-digit numbers. Okay, the first thing we do is we decompose this number and get our problems ready here. I have 200 plus 80 plus 9. And again, this goes back to our first unit when we were decomposing numbers in expanded form. This is exactly the same thing, but it's going to make adding easier for you on the number line. All right, so the first thing I do is I find the first number, but since this is subtraction, I'm going to start on this side. When we did the one for addition, we started on the left side, but this is subtraction. And since the number is going to be getting smaller, you do not leap forward, because leaping forward means the number is increasing. This number will be decreasing. So I'm going to write my first number over here on the right, 472. Now I'm going to go ahead and subtract my first number, 200. So minus 200. Okay, 472 minus 200 equals 272. Now, if you're not sure how to do this algorithm, find a spot on your paper or get a piece of scratch paper and work on the problem there like this. Make yourself an algorithm like this. And you see how you get 2, 7, and 4, take away 2 is 2. So that's 272. That's how I got that. So find yourself an area. If you're not sure how to do the mental math, do it on a piece of paper just like I did here. Okay, the next thing is an 80. I'm subtracting 80 from 272. So minus 80. And again, if you're not sure how to subtract it with mental math, go ahead and make yourself a little problem right here, like this. Okay, or on a piece of scratch paper, you can do it there too. Or any area, even here where you have extra room. Okay, so if you look carefully, this first one, 2 take away 0, that's 2. But then I check, there's more on the floor. So I have to go next door. And this one now becomes a 17, which means that's a 9. And I drop that down as 192. Okay, but I'm not done yet. I still need to subtract that 9. So the last leap that I do in my subtraction problem is minus 9. So again, if you're not sure how to do the problem with mental math, find some room somewhere and go ahead and do your algorithm like this. Okay, and there's more on the floor, so this bin becomes a 12. Take away 110 from the tens place. And now this is 183. So my answer is 183. I go ahead and write that down. So once again, if you're not sure what the numbers are at the bottom, or we cannot do mental math, make yourself some algorithms to figure out that problem. Okay, the next thing I'm going to work on is the strip diagram. Okay, so I did, this time I do have a hole. The total is right here. So I could already draw that number on the top. That's the total number. And one of my numbers is 183 and the other one's 289. But 289 was a number I already had and it was the larger number. So I'm going to write that in. And my second number is 183. And notice that 289 was a little bit bigger than 183. But in subtraction, you were missing this part. When you were doing the addition, you had your two parts and you were missing the whole. This time it's a little bit different. Now I have the total on the top and I was missing this part. So that's the difference between subtraction and addition. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the base 10 model. 472, I'm going to draw it right here. And 72. Okay, so now 289. Okay, first thing you do is you check if there's more on the floor. And as you can see, there's 9 at the bottom and 2 on the top. So I'm going to go next door and ask this 10. I ask them, can I have one of your 10s? And they say yes, so I draw 10 ones right here. So it's like that. And now I do not have more on the floor. I have more on top. So I go ahead and cancel this out since I converted it to some ones. So the next thing is I do is I find a matching pair. And this has 9. And this has 9. Okay, so I have 3 left over. They drop down. And these get canceled out. This becomes a 3 in the standard form of the number. Okay, the next thing I do is I check again, is there more on the floor? And there is. I see 5, 6, 7, 8 down here, and I only see 6 up here. So I have to go to the hundreds and ask them, can I have one of your hundreds? They say yes, but then you have to change these to 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, once I do that, this gets canceled out. Now I find a matching pair. This has 8 here, and I have to get 8 from the top. So I'm going to take them from the top row since it's a little bit easier. Okay, and now I have all together, I cancel these out. And let me draw that little line because I kind of ran over it. But let's see, I have 6, 7, 8 left over. So I'm going to drop those down to the decision area like this. And that becomes an 8 in the standard form of the number. Okay, and now we get over to the hundreds and I check if there's more on the floor. And there's not more on the floor. I see 2 at the bottom and 3 on the top. There's more on top. So that simply means that I could just subtract. So I go ahead and pair them up. I cancel them out and I have 1 left over, which is 183. Okay, the next step is to do the standard algorithm right here. I'm going to go ahead and put 472. That's my first number. Okay, and then check again, is there more on the floor? And there is. So 9 is larger than 2. That means you cannot subtract, so you must regroup. This 7 now becomes a 6, and this 2 becomes a 12. Because what you did is you took one of the 10s and brought it over to the ones place, and 10 plus 2 is 12. So 12 take away 9, that's 3. And then I check again, is there more on the floor? And there is more on the floor. So I cannot subtract. I can only subtract if I regroup. So I'm going to come over to the hundreds place and take one of their hundreds and bring 100 to the tens place. And 10 plus 6 is 16. 16 take away 8, that's 8. And 3 take away 2, that is 1. Let me change the operation here. All right, and then we're going to make this one addition. Okay, to check to see if my answer is right, I'm going to go ahead and now add to find out if it gives me 472. So all I did here is I changed the operations, and this is now subtraction and this is now addition. So we can go ahead and take those out and look at the symbol instead. 289 and 183. 9 plus 3 is 12, and then I regroup the 1, and 8 plus 8 is 16, and 1 more is 17. I regroup it again, and